Okay, this is for Pastor Panjang Christ Church Connecting Our Generations project. We have a few interview questions for Pastor Dennis and Sister Kim Gyok. Okay, first is when did you come to our church, and how did you come to know about PPCC, and why did you choose to come to this church? Yeah.
Okay. I first heard about Pastor Panjang Christ Church. I was actually working at the university during the time I had graduated from Bob Jones University, but I had a roommate that was still in the ministerial class, and he knew that I was interested in China, and he told me that they had announced that a church in Singapore was looking for a youth pastor to come and work with them, and so he recommended that I check into it, and I did, and that was probably in 1983 that I first heard about it, and then it was actually 1984 I went over to Singapore.
Okay. Okay, so that is basically when and how you got to know about PPCC and why you chose to come to PPCC.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The next question is, what are some of the memories that you had of the church life at PPCC, and what ministries were you involved in?
There were quite a few different ministries that I got involved in. I was working mostly with the young people, but during that time I got involved with some of the young adults groups, and I think Awana was started about the same time that I came to Singapore. It was already in motion, I think, before I came, but the plans at least, but I think it was started around the same time, and so I helped some there too. I was involved some with the preaching, and I remember we used to go out, towards the end we got involved in going out to the void decks and witnessing weekly.
Right.
There were a few different things I got involved in, but mostly the youth.
Mostly the youth ministry.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you got any fond memories of a church?
Yeah, I have a lot of fond memories.
Besides marrying your wife?
Yeah, it was a exciting time in a way for me to be involved in the ministry there, and there was just well, I was pretty close to the young people that were during that period of time, and quite involved with different people there, young adults. So we went to some of the youth activities I remember, and we enjoyed. We went to Mount Ophia 3 times, hiked up the hill.
And you hurt yourself?
What's that?
Did you hurt yourself?
No, I don't think I got hurt on any of it.
Oh, you carried someone that was injured. Right.
There was one boy that was at the.
Yeah.
He was
Pastor Dan Song's son.
Yeah, and he was just pretty young to make it up the hill. So
yeah.
I think.
And you carried him.
Part of the way, yeah.
Okay, I didn't go there, but I heard. Okay. Third question is, what do you remember about the brethren at PPCC? And was there anything that struck you about them? Example, were they a praying people, or giving people, or caring people?
I think what I remember is they were really zealous for the Lord, and that was really refreshing to just see people's zeal for the Lord, and just their earnestness and sincerity in everything they did for the Lord.
Okay. Well, what were some of the challenges you faced working with and ministering to the people in Singapore and basically PPCC?
Yeah, that's there were some adjustments. I remember in the early days there were some mistakes I made just because I didn't realize some of the things, understand some of the things that were going on. And it was challenging for me in the sense that a lot of things going on and just working through some of those things, because I was when I first went, I knew Pastor James but didn't really know him personally, so there were a lot of new things, and of course I did make a lot of good friends, but it was just working through some of the things. Just being a young man in the ministry were just challenging for me to get used to. So.
Okay. What were some of the strengths and weaknesses of the church at that point in time? Yeah. What were some of the strengths and weaknesses of the church at that point in time?
Okay. The strengths, I think, was there was a real earnestness and a real zeal for the Lord. I think one thing that I was involved in was a little bit more. The youth group I was trying to get more as an independent group. Before I think I came, it was more of a mixture of young adults and youth, and I sort of divided up the groups and felt that was probably a little bit better arrangement to do it that way. But that was, but the youth had always had a history of being very active in the church, and sometimes I remember visiting some of the people who had dropped off from church, and their feeling was sometimes after they were no longer youth, they didn't need to serve, and that may have been a weak. There were a lot of adults that did serve, but there was a little bit of that atmosphere with some people. But they were very zealous still as a general.
Right. Okay. So you were also involved in the Awana clubs at that point in time?
Yeah. It was more Deacon Patrick. He was a deacon at the time. He was really instrumental in getting that started. And I remember we had some Awana missionaries come and help get started. But I did help out some and was involved, which I enjoyed, and was involved in that some too.
Okay. Okay. The last question is, what important lesson would you like the younger generation of PPCC members to learn?
I guess just to be zealous for the Lord still, and I think that both here in America and there's just a lot of attractions from the world, and just to stand fast to the Lord. And I think there's probably more things to distract people today even than there was then, but just to encourage them to be faithful and zealous and love the Lord.
Okay. Are there any more things you'd like to say to the folks back in Singapore before?
Just encourage them. They do mean a lot to us. We don't always, I think, sometimes show our appreciation as much as we should, but we do appreciate them, and just encourage them to keep being faithful to the Lord, keep walking with the Lord, stand true to Him.
Deacon Gak, you got anything? You want to say hello?
I just want to thank you for all these years, the faithful prayer from all our friends back in PPCC. We appreciate that. I think many times here and there we either through emails or Facebook or even a short visit that I have when I went back visit. The little time that I spend with everyone, the encouragement that I have from everybody, just a great encouragement for me. So I want to thank you for all your love and all your prayer support for us.
Okay. Tim and Lou?
Just thank you guys for the unfailing support. I know we're kind of far away, but you always remember us in our prayers, so thank you guys for that.
They said everything. I got nothing.
Okay.